Welcome to another episode of Queen's Vantage Podcast. We're on season 3, y'all. So for everybody who thought I was going to fail, keep waiting. But today, we're sitting down with my girl. And who knew when we were in the Black Chamber of Commerce entrepreneur group that we would become friends? But here we are. So Diana Clayton is the owner of Be The Vision Limo, where she does everything, and I mean everything, in luxury. Diana, welcome to Queen's Vantage Podcast.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Yes.
I'm super excited to be here.
I'm happy to have you. So, navigating this space as a woman, an entrepreneur, you're also the caretaker for your mother, you're a single mom, and you work full time. And I know a little bit about that because in this entrepreneur space, working a 9-to-5 and being a single mother of 3 boys, it's not always easy. But I wanted to share this space to talk about how it is, because I don't know if you get asked, but I get asked a lot, how do you do it? Well, we're going to tell you how. And we're going to give you the real. So tell us a bit before we jump into that about Be The Vision Limo, and what was the vision?
Okay, so I'm in transportation. I've been in transportation for over 20 years.
Okay.
I grew up in the Bay Area. I'm from Kansas City, but grew up most of my life in the Bay Area. In 2000, it was cheaper to come this way, so I came into Fairfield, and transportation was my first job out this way, and it was easy, and I did it for several years. And I remember hearing someone say, "Take the skills that you have and capitalize off of it." Well, I was in transportation, and I had also started getting into the party bus space, driving for other people. And I'm looking at the invoices and I'm like, man, the only thing separating me from what they're making is I don't have a vehicle. So I said, I'm going to get a vehicle. But it wasn't right off. Like that was kind of like the after effect of it. I remember maybe around the time I was about 35, 36, felt like I was kind of having like a midlife crisis. Like, I need to be doing something else with my life.
Can I just say, I thought you were 35 or 36.
Oh, thank you.
I mean, come on. Black don't crack.
We are pushing 45 this year, okay?
Okay.
But I had taken this, I'm actually a certified life coach, but I had taken this life coaching class, and part of the journey is we had to write down our vision. And I remember writing down on there, I want a bus for field trips. It sparked out of the idea of a field trip for my kids, because I'm like, Fairfield, Sassoon doesn't have field trips. I grew up in the Bay. We did field trips everywhere. I remember writing that down on my vision board, kind of set it and forget it, like just a thought, left it alone. Fast forward and getting into the life coaching, I had met with my son's coach. And I'm like, look, I'm at this place in my life. I want to do more. I know there's more in me. I need guidance. And so Becoming the Vision is a conference that was birthed out of that. And it had a lot to do with my son, too, because he was struggling in school. And Becoming the Vision kind of laid in my spirit. And I did an empowerment conference from that. I didn't want to let go of that name. And then going back to writing down the vision for that vehicle, when the idea came to start my own business, Be The Vision came from Becoming the Vision. I didn't want, that was just too long of a title for a company name. So Be The Vision is just an extension of Becoming the Vision, which was the original
I love it.
idea.
There's so much in that, because it's like, be the vision that you want to see.
Be the vision. And that's exactly what the concept was.
And you launched a commercial or like a promo. Was that last year?
Yes, actually, I was delayed in releasing that because I wanted the editing to be right. I wanted
Hmm.
to get the voiceover for it. It just took a little bit of time as
Yeah.
an entrepreneur, finding the right people, places, and spaces for things.
Yeah.
Sometimes takes a while, and I didn't want to half step it. I felt like the video was such great quality, and I wanted it to be right. So yeah, I was well after, but yeah, we shot that video last April
Was it?
actually.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Well,
it's been a year.
congratulations and happy
Thank you.
anniversary.
Thank you,
Yeah.
thank
And if you
you.
want to see that video, Be The Vision Limo is on Instagram.
Yes,
Go
it is.
check her out. Go like, go follow, share, and share it with folks because I
Yes.
had the opportunity to hire Be The Vision Limo for
Yes.
a girls' wine tasting
Yeah.
that we did out at Wine Girl in Napa. And when I say just pure luxury, you had
Thank
the
you.
champagne, you had water available to us, and
You.
your driver was just
Yeah.
graceful and made sure all the
Yeah.
ladies were taken care of. So
Thank you for that.
thank
That's the
you.
goal. The goal is to provide you with an experience. It's our handle is relax. We're driving.
Yeah.
You know, we want you to get in, sit back, chill. We take the thinking out of everything. We just want you to have a good time. So I'm glad that was your experience.
Yeah. So what are some of the challenges not only for you as a woman of color in this space, but also with the competition because Napa is a huge attraction.
It is.
And I mean, there's a lot of folks trying to navigate that space and really set themselves apart from others. But what are some of the challenges that you're seeing in this space as a luxury brand and getting people to either hire you over others?
Uh, I think it all boils down to marketing, to be honest.
Yeah.
As a um, new business owner and as an entrepreneur, it's a lot of it is who you know. It's being in spaces for X amount of years, so that you have the repeat customers.
Yeah.
And it's just being able to market yourself. And I'm just starting, so I don't have 10 vehicles like others. So I get
Yeah.
a lot of requests, but one of the things that I can appreciate about this space is that when you have affiliates, right?
Yeah.
So if I have someone requesting a 16 passenger vehicle, if I don't have it, I can reach out to one of my partners, trusted partners, right? Because you don't want to pass your clients to someone who may not handle them or take care of
Yeah.
them with care. And it's just a shared space. And I know it's business, everything is competition, and you want to keep yourself relevant.
Hmm.
I really don't even look at it as competition simply because there is enough for everybody.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
certainly enough for everybody. So I just do what I do. I've always been big on customer service. To date, I have clients coming back to me from companies that I've worked for before,
Yeah.
and I don't steal clients, but people like what they like. And I think that one of the things that set me apart is that I'm a woman in this space.
Yeah.
Women, we love men, we feel protected by men, but women feel protected by women as well,
Absolutely.
especially when they've been drinking and they're out. So that is my superpower, being a woman,
Yeah.
a woman of color, and just providing that excellent customer service that I believe that my clients feel when they encounter me.
Yeah.
So
I love
that's a
that.
superpower.
Yeah. Okay, so you don't just do Napa. So I want to make
Correct.
that very clear. You have also driven a lot of the celebrities that have come into California,
Yes.
like Juvenile,
Yes.
right?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
How has that been? Because you're going from this space into like real, like now you're dealing with the celebrities. How has
Yeah.
that been?
It's been, you know what, to be honest, it's been real chill. Like,
Yeah.
you low key want to fan out because you're a fan, right? These
Yeah.
these people are people that you're fans of. And, Juvenile was 90s and, um
99, 2000.
hey, you know,
Shout out Juvie. You know, my family's from New
yeah,
Orleans, so
shout
we got to
out.
get that shout
Him and
out.
his crew was just absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
Beautiful wife. His son was with us, his daughter. Everybody was just super chill. But
Yeah.
because they're cool, it's cool.
Yeah.
Like he was so laid back, so chill. I just do my job.
Yeah.
That's it. I just do my job. I don't ask a bunch of questions. I just make sure that they're comfortable. I can meet their needs, and that's it. I mean, it's definitely nice having them.
Yeah.
But I just do my job.
So you talked a bit about partnership
Hmm.
and how, often if someone reaches out to you and let's say you don't have the capacity, you will refer them out.
Sure.
I noticed that you're also doing some other partnerships with some of the local, is it wine bars here in Fairfield?
Yes.
One, I want to know, like, how are you getting in through those doors? So if you're talking to other business owners and they're like, you know what, I'm struggling with the networking. How
Hmm.
are you getting through those doors and then leveraging those partnerships?
Everything is about relationship.
Yeah.
Honestly, these are businesses that I support. I've recently partnered up with I frequent, first of all, I frequent like Craft and Cork. One
Yes.
of my, it's local, it's
Yeah.
close. I don't get out much now that I'm the sole caretaker for my mom.
Yes.
So being able to just step out, let my hair down a little bit, has been refreshing. So I would, pop in and Craft and Cork and just build relationships, rapport. You have fun, you introduce yourself, I share the business that I do, and like, hey, if you ever need service, let me know. And then recently I've partnered up with TJ out at now they've just relaunched, and it's 519 Main Street. And
Out in
so
Vacaville, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And so it's been cool. It's just building relationships, networking with people. Where I go, I'm getting in the habit of uh introducing who I am, because
Yeah.
sometimes it's a little like you don't want to be, but it's like this is who
Too
I
like
am.
too forward. But
Yeah.
let's talk about that
Yeah.
because I feel like often we have been taught to like dim our lights, fit into a box.
Yeah.
And I have struggled with that. I
Mhm.
mean, in the podcasting space, if I'm going to an intentional event where I know other podcasters are going to be there, then it's a game. But
Mhm.
let's say we're at an event like the Wealthy Women's Network,
Amazing.
was it the Boss Network event?
Yes.
And I'm going to learn about them and I will tend to shrink myself. Still
Yeah.
in this day and age, like I
Mhm.
will shrink myself because it's like, let me let others shine.
Mhm.
How so what like how do you push yourself through that? Because I just told a friend the other day, I said I really struggle with the networking. Like I'm okay doing it for my 9 to 5 because that's a part of the business, but actually being my own brand
Mhm.
and building that network is really hard for me. And I think environments where I was taught to shrink myself.
Mhm. How do I navigate that space? Honestly, I don't think I give it much thought. I'm
Yeah.
not even gonna lie. I don't really give it much thought. Um, one, so here's the thing about me. Me and my best friend was just talking about this. I'm a Virgo. I'm very protective of my space
Mm-hmm.
and my energy. But if you see me out, you'll think that I'm very extroverted,
Yeah.
and I'm really not. But
The
I,
misconceptions.
yeah,
Yeah.
but I do try to take advantage of the places and spaces that I'm in.
Yeah.
And I'm a talker. I do a lot of things I go to concerts by myself. And to be honest with you, most of my network, a lot of the friends that I've had, I've met being out by myself,
Yeah.
traveled. I can't think of a state that I could go to that I don't know people that
Yeah.
I've met via like maybe online or whatever.
Yeah.
And so I just, what I do have a problem with? I don't think I have a problem with putting myself out there. What I have a problem with is, for example, when John B was here
Mm-hmm.
and had the wonderful opportunity of working with him through the chamber. That was an amazing connection through the chamber. I am part of Solano County's Black Chamber, which has been amazing. It's opened some
Yeah.
nice doors, and John B was one of those doors that it opened for me. So I'm grateful for that. Uh, I'll do my job, and then I'll forget to, because everything is about marketing, right?
Yes.
I'll forget to be like, hey, let me get a picture. These
Yeah.
are like important things to capture, and I'll let the moment go. That's kind of where I struggle. It's like I'm timid to do
Yeah.
those things, but I'm not timid to really be
Yeah.
in this space or say, hey, this is what I do.
You know what I've been doing, and this was actually through my previous producer was kind of creating a checklist, and so
Mm.
not just the um hair or makeup, but it's like be sure to say hello to, be sure to get a picture with, so I have that intentional checklist for myself because that pushes me beyond my comfort zone. I'm
Yeah.
like you in that way where I have
Yeah.
traveled to many places in the states and out of the states. So I've
Mm-hmm.
traveled internationally by myself, alone.
Yeah.
And you're right. I've met like my girl out in New York, Ebony. Oh, by the way, Ebony, I'll be in New York soon, so I'm gonna come see you. But my girl Ebony out in New York, like I met her in Jamaica when I was there
Oh,
on a solo
wow.
trip. So I'm good in those spaces, but it's in the
Yeah.
other spaces where there's like
Mm-hmm.
a group of people and it's
Mm-hmm.
like, oh my gosh, don't make me the center of attention. And like we we're saying with the misconceptions, people think because I'm a podcaster that it's just natural for me to go up and
Mm-hmm.
talk to people. And it's like actually I'm outgoing, but I also have that duality where I can be very
Got it.
reserved.
Mm-hmm.
But I really wanted to dive into the multiple hats that you wear because that's always been a challenge. Many years ago, was my mother's caretaker before she passed away.
Mhm.
But also being a mom, a busy mom. At the time, my kids were on three, they all were playing sports. It wasn't three different sports, but they all played sports. But for you, you get up every morning, you commute.
I do.
You're the full-time caretaker for your mother,
Yeah.
which we just want to say hello to your mom, and
You.
she has an amazing daughter, because I know she's going to see this episode.
Yeah.
But you're also a mom.
Yeah.
How are you holding it all together? Because I find sometimes, I'm gonna be real, like I find sometimes where my schedules are just collapsing and they're falling apart. And not only that, when my mother died, I became somewhat of the matriarch of my family, where I am the go-to person for all of my nieces and nephews, and there's a lot of them. But
Yeah.
so how are you holding it all together?
How am I doing it? Sometimes I don't even know, to be
Yeah.
honest with you. These past 2 years, I was just telling a friend of mine, these past 2 years have just been very different for me. I've always worked since I've been working since I was 14. Let's start there. I'm 44. So I feel like
Yeah.
I've earned the right to just stop. I want to
Yes.
quit. Like, God, make me rich today. But I've always worked. I've always been busy. But the last 2 years was different because of my mom's sudden change in health. She had a stroke New Year's morning,
Oh my gosh.
maybe 2 o'clock in the morning, New Year's 2023. So life has been life altering since then. And I don't know how I do it. My faith, my foundation. My boys have been helpful. They've been graceful. And I don't know. I just think that there's a vision that I see.
Yeah.
I know there's a light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah.
Sometimes I don't feel like it. Sometimes I don't see it.
Yeah.
But I know it's there. And I don't know. Sometimes I literally wake up and sometimes I'm like, feel like I'm about to fall apart today.
Yeah.
And, then I've had my own little health issues going on. So it's just, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't have the answers. I just know every day I get up and I wake up and it's another day and I've had another opportunity to keep going. My circle, I feel like I have a very small circle, but I feel like I have a very powerful circle.
Yeah.
I have people that hold me up. My best friend, we talk almost every day. She sent me this prayer, and I'm not one of those people like, oh, you know how social media is like, you have this prayer, pass it on, hit the like. I'm not that girl.
Share it with 10 people.
I'm not that girl.
Yeah.
But she sent me this prayer. I don't remember what the title was, but I've never, outside of being in church, the pastor may say something, it's just a word that is just for you. Outside of being in the church, I've never had a prayer that resonated with my spirit like it did. I listened to it this morning. I listened to it yesterday, and it's just waiting. It said, faith without patience is just a spiritual, I can't remember the word he used, but it's just a routine.
Yeah.
But having patience while you're waiting, while you're faithing, that's what it's about. And so that's just kind of where I am. I have faith that things are gonna, turn out the way I envision them to turn out. And every day I just get up and I keep going.
Yeah. I love that you said that, because I think often, even myself and others think that faith is really about waiting, but faith is intentional. It's intentional.
Very much so.
And it's not just about the not doing and just sitting. It's about listening to the spirit and moving, right? And it could be small steps. It could be big steps. You could pivot.
Yeah.
But it's about being intentional and waking up every day saying, like, I have faith that what it is that I envision for myself, for my children, for my family, that it will come to pass.
Yes.
So, yeah, I love that. So, being an entrepreneur, being a woman, being a boss lady, do you ever face I feel like my family thinks that I'm rich. I I feel like my family think that I just have money because they're like, she's on YouTube, she's on TV, but they'd be like, she on TV now, and I'm like, we're not there. But how is that for you with your friends and family? Because now that come on, you have a beautiful. We will not downplay. Like you have a beautiful Mercedes Sprinter,
Thank you.
and it is luxury. And I can't imagine that people don't look at her and be like, she got money now,
and it's paid for,
it's paid for. Okay, so listen, we are Black women with no car, no Z, and hear me.
Listen, I'm actually very grateful for that because my thing, and I'll just be honest with you, when you're starting a business, I've gone to the banks and they're like, sorry, you're just starting. We don't have money for you.
Mm-hmm.
I had a banker tell me, he's like, listen, you're going to have to max out your personal credit. That's the only way you're going to make it. You need to be in business 2.5 years before we can legally give you money. And this was, a commercial bank, a very big bank. And so I was like, well, dang. And he did not lie. Okay, the credit cards are crediting.
They're crediting.
Everything is being paid. But listen, so I took the route of, I said, you know what? I had an opportunity to buy it 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago. I bought it, the opportunity, literally. When they say shout out, and that's the importance of having a solid circle. You got people who support you. And when there's a saying that your name will be in rooms that you have not entered, that was literally the case in that situation. Shout out to my best friend. Like, my best friend is dope. And she had lost her grandmother, and one of her relatives was like, hey, do you know anybody who's looking for a Sprinter? And she's like, what? She called me, and I didn't even think it was the Sprinter that I wanted. I didn't think it was a Mercedes. I thought it was going to be a Ford or something. Nothing against Fords, but
But I mean, there is Mercedes and there's Mercedes.
Yeah, there is a Mercedes, but and I said, okay, cool. I went to the bank and I went and picked my baby up in Fresno. Yeah, so that was amazing. But no, because everybody knows that, as an entrepreneur, you don't have money, okay? There's no money as an entrepreneur. I am a aspiring, wealthy, rich entrepreneur, but we have not yet arrived, okay?
I have some shirts dropping pretty soon, and it says Forbes, and then it's a picture of a Black woman on top, and at the bottom it says, I'm on my way.
I love that. So I love that because I think that we negate the journey too.
Yes.
We look at the people who have already arrived, but there's so much growth, maturity, lessons. Like, it's precious on the journey, even though sometimes we don't see it and we don't feel it.
Yes.
But there's a lot of substance in that journey too. So I like that. Only person I think that thinks I'm rich is my dad in Kansas City.
There's always that one.
Yeah, he's like, order me this. I do all of his Amazon ordering, and he's like, order this, order that, and I'm like, oh, I thought you were gonna get it for me. I'm like, you do realize I am a single mother. I'm a business owner. Like, I have all these other expenses, Dad. I can't just sit back and buy you the world. Not yet. We're
Not
working
yet,
on it.
but we're on our way.
Yeah.
I love that. So identity outside of caretaker, outside of mother, outside of Be The Vision, outside of your 9 to 5.
Yeah.
How would you like to be represented in this world? Because I think you're just such a beautiful being.
Thank you.
You're always kind and graceful and embracing. And I asked that question because we talked about this a little bit off the camera, was when, going through a divorce and reinventing ourselves. And your entrepreneurism came after your divorce. So how do you want to be represented in this world? Or if you had to look back maybe 20 years from now to say to yourself, like, I've become, who would that be?
Become just a strong Black woman that pushed through.
Yeah.
Just push through. I mean, like many others, I've had struggles, but I really don't. They make us who we are, but I don't want to be seen as my struggle. I just want to be a woman, like just how you described.
Yeah.
I'm nice. I'm kind. Some people, I'm mean sometimes, but not all the time. You got to do something.
I like to say that I'm kind and I can be nice.
Yes.
Right. But don't test me.
Don't test me.
Don't test
I'm
me.
a Virgo at heart. Don't test me.
Well, listen, y'all, I'm
Yeah.
not trying to say it, but I'm going to say it. I'm an Aries, and we are the goddess of war. I ain't a
Listen.
killer, but don't push me. But we are at time because, as we said,
Yeah.
we are busy women. I have a
Yes.
certification program that I am starting today.
Yay.
But
Congratulations.
listen, this has been another episode of Queen's Vantage Podcast. Diana with Be The Vision Limo can be found on Instagram, and we'll make sure that we put your website up on here as
Thank you
well.
so much.
Absolutely. Thank you for sitting down
Thank
with
you.
us and sharing your journey. And I feel like there could be a part 2 of this coming
I think
very, very
so. I
soon.
think so.
So listen, Queen's Vantage Podcast, always bringing you wonderful guests. And we hope that from each and every episode, you can learn a little bit from us. Don't forget, the crown may tilt, but it'll never fall off.